If you are in a place where you can put on your camera, that would be great. This is for you guys. I already know this stuff. I created this system I'm about to go through. So this is truly for you, and I hope to have some fun here. I hope for this to be one of the best any type of training that you've ever been on before. Um, because what I'm going to share with you guys truly changed my life forever when I learned it. So just letting some more people in. So put your camera on if you're in a place. We're gonna have some fun. And it helps me, one, to interact with you every once in a while, but two, just to see your faces, see your energy, see if you have some confused faces, or if you're not sure really what I'm talking about. If you see me glancing over, I have another monitor over here with a basic outline of what I'm going to go over, but I'm really just going to go from the heart here and then tell you guys what I think will help you best and what ultimately you need to hear. Um, some other housekeeping. This is probably going to be, I really don't know, 60 minutes. There's going to be Q&A at the end. So it could be as long as 120 minutes. But regardless, this is going to be recorded. So if you got to hop out at any point, don't worry about it. You can do that, and you can always join back, and you'll get the recording after this anyway. All right, a few more people joining. All right, cool. Okay. Might have a couple more coming. I'll just keep my eye on it. So, I did first just want to say, so my name is Scott Crease, for those of you who don't know me. And man, I'm just so blessed and grateful, to have you guys here. I've been in the, business world for 6 years now. And man, it's crazy. Like, I'm 29 now, but when I first got, out of college 6 years ago, I attempted to be a, financial advisor, and I did that so I could help people, become financially free and just learn about finances and all this, or help other people learn about finances and all this stuff. And I quickly realized, man, it was just selling insurance, and I got roped into it. No hate to financial advisors out there, but it was just selling insurance, and I was 23 years old in a pretty bad place, and I was pretty heavily depressed for a while. And so, if you've been depressed, I'm sure it's different for everybody. I remember for like 2 weeks, I was laying down on my bed, and it felt like there was just somebody like weighing 500 pounds just sitting on me. And it was like tough to even pick up a phone, tough to do anything. Maybe some of you guys relate, but regardless, I'm just so grateful to be here and have this many people want to hear what I have to say. And it's very rare where in the business world I'm truly passionate about teaching something. A lot of you guys probably know me from my LinkedIn lead generation system, which I still do and still teach to this day. But what I'm going to go over on this Zoom and mainly cover um, is what truly changed my life forever. And so it changed my financial life, my life, my family's life, and so I'm hoping that it can do that for you guys too. Um, and so we're just going to get started here. What we're going to go over today, this might not mean a lot to you now, but if any of you have paper around, a postcard, you're taking notes on paper, anything at all, I want you to write down this phrase. You guys can see me, right? I don't know if you can read that. It says, other people's assets are my assets too. If you don't have paper right now or you're watching the recording, just do this at some point, and you want to put it in a place that you will see it every day. I promise by the end of this Zoom meeting, you will want to do that. If you just have a phone with you, write it down in your phone, because this simple phrase, this simple sentence can make business insanely easier for you people. Other people's assets are my assets too. Um, and so, all right, I think everybody's in here now. Let me make sure I have the right people here. How many of you guys, like, how are you currently prospecting and doing client acquisition? Can you just drop in the chat, or feel free to unmute, but like, what are some different things that you're currently doing or that you maybe aren't doing now, but have done in the past, trying to get clients, trying to prospect, trying to get clients? Like, what, is everything that you guys have been trying in the past? Maybe it's been successful, maybe it's not been successful. What are you guys currently doing?
What's working well for me, I'll just interject real quick, is posting on Facebook. and then people DMing me. I've done cold outreach in the past, not as successful. It's kind of okay. Um, but organic, just creating relationships. So that's what attracted me to this call to like figure out better ways to leverage my relationships, basically.
Cool. I love that. Awesome. Give it up for Nick. Woo! Thank you, Nick, for participating there. I see in the chat. So organic, cold email, LinkedIn, Facebook ads, all this stuff. Um, which is awesome. A lot of it works. All of it works if you do it right. But by a show of hands, how many of you people would love to literally get clients just sent your way? Like you don't have to do anything. Like they just come to you. Or even better yet, how many of you guys would love to? This is for you if you maybe are in between offers now, or maybe you're someone who just doesn't really care about the offer you sell. Like for me, this was me. I got into business just to make money without having to spend all day at a 9 to 5. And for me, I didn't really care about what I was selling. I just wanted to be something that helped people and that worked. And so how many of you guys would love if like maybe it didn't matter what you were selling, but just that you had income coming, no matter what the income was, without you really spending any time working for it or a lot of energy working for it, like just money coming in from doing nothing. Because that's what we're going to work on here today with my system I call the other people's assets sales system, because other people's assets are my assets too, and they are your assets too as well. And so I'm gonna share my screen in a second here, take you through a Google Doc I have. Still admitting some people here. And I don't know if Cam is in here. Cam is a student of mine on this offer, and he was telling me about Google Docs stink. Sorry, Cam, I am so sixth grade elementary that I didn't want to take the chance to learn your Gamma Doc thing before this in case I didn't know how to do it. So it's going to be a Google Doc that I'm sharing with you guys regardless. And so I want to know one quick question before we get going. Um, have you guys ever signed up for a course before, or maybe a coaching program, where you had a course or a coach tell you something very exact to do to get a magical result? Like, use this exact outreach message, use this exact sales script. Here's my 7-figure ad copy. Use this, and you're going to kill it. Like, it's going to work for you. And then you go and do the thing that the coach told you, but it didn't work for you exactly how they said. Has that ever happened to anybody? Like it happens all the time. And I know I've seen so many people have been burned before I've been there. I've invested $70,000 on different mentors, coaches, and everything. That's because most likely that person taught you what we call a tactic in business. Here, I'm going to share my screen now. This will make more sense for you. Okay. So most likely, can you guys see my screen? Cool. They taught you a tactic. And in business, we can learn or teach three different things. There are tactics, strategies, and principles. A tactic is what to do or what to say. So oftentimes, this is what we're seeking out. Like a lot of you came here today to like know, like, man, if Scott would just tell me the magic words to make all my dreams come true, like that would be awesome. Just what to do, what to say. Scott, what do I do? What do I say? But the issue with tactics is that they work for some people, but don't work for other people. It's just how it works. That's why also if you've ever been like in a coaching program and like you're struggling and but your buddy Chris over there is like doing millions of dollars in sales and you're like, what the heck? I'm doing the same stuff. Like I swear I'm doing the same stuff Chris is. Like, why isn't this working for me? It's because it's a tactic. And unfortunately, it works for some people, it doesn't work for other people. And it would be impossible for it to work with it for everyone. Otherwise, everybody would just be millionaires, everybody would be billionaires. Like we got the magic words to say to get people to give me money. But there's a cool thing in business that I'm gonna highlight here called business principles. And man, it took me 7 different coaches, mentors, and the $70,000 I've invested to ever get a coach that even mentioned the word principles, and it changed my life. And so a principle in the world, by definition, is the law that governs. Principles are things that have always existed. They exist now, and they will continue to exist in the future no matter what. Whenever businesses got started 1,000 years ago, hundreds of years ago, whatever it is, they existed. And hundreds of years in the future, these will exist. And so they also apply to all people at all places at all times. It doesn't matter who you are, which is very, very powerful. And so whoever utilizes the principle has to get the result that the principle governs. Like, I'll give you guys some examples. Like the law of gravity, like doesn't matter if Nathaniel's like, well, Scott, I don't think gravity applies to me. Like, well, you're not floating up in the sky right now. Like it applies to you. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm on a weight loss journey right now, down 15 pounds. Woo, claps for me. And a principle of the human body is that if you burn more calories than you consume, you're going to lose weight. It doesn't matter who you are. Like people are like, my metabolism's slow. Like, okay, like try not eating for a week. See what happens. You might lose some weight. It's just a principle of the human body. And so in business, there are principles too. And so now, if I first teach you the principle behind the tactics and strategies, now you know why everything works. Now, Chris over there making seven figures, and you're like, what the heck is Chris doing? If you knew the principles behind what he's doing and why it's working, now all of a sudden it'll make sense to you. So now if I teach you principles first, the next time you guys invest in anything, any other tactic or coaching program or anything, you'll be able to apply these principles and you're going to have success with a whole lot more of it. Does that make sense to you guys? So as we get going here, I wanted to, as we get into other people's assets, um, because this is a very powerful exercise for me, I want you guys to write down, this is just for you, you don't have to put in the chat anything. I want you to write down also, and this can be just be in your phone, like over the past year, the past month, maybe your whole life, how much time you have spent on prospecting and client acquisition. Just think about it, like tens of hours. And more than that, because I know for me, like my brain, like an entrepreneur, I only like work like an hour a day these days, but my brain as an entrepreneur is just constantly going. Like I should be asleep and I'm thinking about business. So like even like how much time have you spent thinking about client acquisition and prospecting for your business? And then maybe it's tens of hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, I don't know. And then next to that, I want you to write down how much money you have spent on prospecting and client acquisition, whether it's investing different in different courses or coaches and mentors, like I talked about, whether it's actual like paid ads, whether it's software, different things like that. And I want you to look at those next to each other because I really want you guys to take the next 60, 90 minutes seriously because I'm going to show you how to use other people's assets, other people's time equity, money equity, spending countless hours in their business to your success so that you can get those two numbers down to zero or as close to zero as humanly possible. And while at the same time having your income skyrocket. And so um, I want this to change the way you see business, like uh, because it did for me. I first learned this lesson years ago from a mentor of mine, Elijah Bowie. Some of you might know him. And he was teaching other people's assets. He had like a free 5 day challenge. And this was like day three of it. I'll never forget. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm going through it. I'm like, other people's assets. Like, that's all. Like, this makes a lot of sense. And oh, I'm still admitting people who are joining. After his training of it, now he pitched something at the end of the 5 days. And by the way, if I didn't mention it, I have no offer here for you guys. You guys can sit back, relax. We have a motto over here called low stress, no stress. It's from my dad. And we just everybody can relax with no offer there. But he had an offer at the end. And after learning other people's assets, it changed the way I looked at business forever. So I was like, here, take my money. And I signed up with him, and he taught a little bit of other people's assets, but it wasn't really a system that was repeatable and predictable. And so I kind of became obsessed with creating a system like that myself. And so that's what I ended up doing. But after he taught even his basic training of it, I was like, man, this changed the way I look at business. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have seen the movie The Sixth Sense, where like the kid sees dead people. And I'm gonna give you a spoiler. In The Sixth Sense, you're going through it, And you're like, wow, this kid sees dead people. That's cool. And at the end of the movie, the big twist by M. Night Shyamalan or whatever his name is was that the kid had a friend who was a doctor in the movie, and you find out that the doctor was dead the whole time. And you're like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Like I can't, like he's been dead the whole time. And then you go back and you rewatch the movie, and you're like, I got to rewatch it in a whole different way now because the doctor's talking to people, but nobody's looking him in his face. Like I can't believe, like this is crazy. I should have seen this. And that's how learning other people's assets is for your business. Like this will truly change the way that you look at everything in business. You're going to not want to do any one-on-one lead gen anymore. You're not going to do any sales calls anymore. You're only going to think about how can I use collaborations and strategic partnerships to grow your business. And the other thing it does is it helps you get what we call an infinite ROI in business. And so what that means is a normal ROI is you put $1 in, you get $10 back, you got a 10x ROI. But I remember when I was reading this book, I have it here, Rich Dad Poor Dad, years ago. He talks about a concept, and I'm investing in a lot of real estate now, and this changed my life forever too. But he talks about a concept called infinite ROI in the world of real estate, where basically, if you can figure out how to create money from nothing, like your world changes. And so I was also obsessed with this idea, and using other people's assets is the only way I've really discovered of how you can create an infinite ROI over and over and over again. Meaning you take $0, you take zero anything, maybe a little bit of time at the beginning, and you can produce an infinite ROI for yourself. And if you stick around to them, we're going to have a Q&A at the end. And one of my students on, you can see him here, Ryan is here. And he's going to just explain like how he uses the system. He had a 20K day the other day. People just sent to him via these strategic partnerships. And I think he even just messaged me right before hopping on here that he got another, what we call heavy lifter, interested to work with him. And so we're going to be going over all that. And so, why do we use strategic partnerships? Because that's what this is. This is allowing other people to spend millions on ads. Let them spend countless hours building up an audience base, a customer base, and then you are going to put your offer into that person's customer flow or audience flow. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. We're finding distribution centers, people who are distributing and amassing all of these client bases, all of these audience bases, spending millions on ads, and we are taking advantage of their audiences. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And the reason why is there's another principle that I call the simple wealth formula. And it's simply that whenever we're looking how to get ahead in business, we have to find what successful people and successful companies are doing and do that thing. And I don't mean companies like in our industry where we think $1 million or even eight figures is like good. I'm talking about like the big guys, like in the real world. And so we look at companies like Apple. I made a post about this the other day. As of a few months ago, Apple, they don't have a sales team, but what they do have is 380 plus strategic partnerships. And they must have formed a few new ones because I made a post about this and someone commented like they have 393. And I was like, oh, did you Google that? He's like, ChatGPT told me. So even over the past few months since I last looked, they've formed 13 more strategic partnerships of people distributing their product for them. Like they don't have to sell their product anymore. How Microsoft is worth, I believe, tens of billions of dollars now. How they first got started is they had an operating system, and instead of going to the market and say, hey, we have this awesome operating system, like let me sell it to you one-on-one, like to all these different customers, they partnered with IBM and said, hey, how about every time you sell a computer, like we just also sell our operating software with it. So they got their product inside of another heavy lifter's audience flow and has scaled to billions because of that. And so a lot of you guys, like show of hands, how many of you guys are doing like one-on-one lead gen? Like your goal is more sales calls or just more leads in general, like one-on-one all the time. Because that's typically how we're taught to do things. And then also you guys are probably pitching your offer right at the beginning. And so how most people are taught and how most people, how it works is that we generate a lead and then we pitch them our offer. And that's why we're lucky to get, 20, 25% closing ratio. And a big reason why that is because you guys are not pre-selling them first. And so when it comes to business and pitching your offer, I want you to think about it like a golf course. And so on a golf course, you have your ball on the tee, and you have a hole that eventually you want the ball to go into. Every ball is a prospect or a lead, okay? And the hole they go into, when you make it in, that's a sale for you in the world of business. And so what a lot of us do is we pitch them right away, and that's like getting up there and trying to get a hole in one and just whacking away, hole in one over and over and over again. Like it might go in some of the time, but it's not going to go in a lot of the time. And that's because you have not properly pre-sold your prospect. So there are different things that we want to be pre-selling. And this lesson isn't about pre-selling, but when you pre-sell things, and you can pre-sell with emails, content on your social media profile, paid ads, you can pre-sell with VSLs or even on a sales call yourself, you can pre-sell your prospect more. And when you pre-sell them, it's like hitting the ball closer to the hole before you ever pitch your offer, your product. It's you just keep tapping the ball closer to the hole until the ball is like an inch from the hole. And like when the ball is an inch from the hole, like I don't care who you are, like a monkey could hit the like could go boom and tap the ball into the hole when it's an inch away from the hole. And so like over here, you guys will some of your students of mine, like I'll close a lot with Google Docs. Because like my partner Frankie closes with Loom videos. Why? Because when the ball is an inch away from the hole, they just want the details. You can just send it to them. But the truth is that pre-selling takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of time to learn how to do it. It takes a lot of just work. And so I want you to think of partnerships as imagine somebody else hit your golf balls in for you. Like some just do, like John over there is like, hey Scott, like I have your ball here. It's a prospect, and I'm just gonna hit it until it gets within an inch of the hole. And then they do all that heavy lifting to get the ball there, and then they just go, oh, here, Scott, this is your ball. Like just take it and you can tap it in. That's what we do with strategic partnerships. Or better yet, my favorite place to get to in a partnership is they'll just tap it in for you. They'll literally hit it all the way and they'll tap it in and they go, oh, Scott, wait, you know what? Like this ball's yours. I'm like, really? This ball's mine? And they're like, yeah, this ball's yours. Knock yourself out. Take the ball. And then the other reason that we want to use strategic partnerships is something that I just made this up, the ripple effect. And so, actually, you know what? I might do this. I wasn't going to do this, but you guys want to have some fun. I know you guys probably have places to be, but we can have some fun in business too. I got a YouTube video pulled up. So I don't know if the sound's going to work. And so if the sound doesn't work, you guys are going to be spared from this. And I'm really surprised I'm doing this. I thought it was so dumb, but I'm going to do it. If the sound doesn't work, you're spared from it. But do anybody here know a movie with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell? It's a Christmas movie, and it's called Spirited. Anybody know Spirited? I hadn't heard of this movie until this a couple months ago. Me and my girlfriend Alexa were watching Christmas movies, like too many Christmas movies. You know, to the point where I'm like, can we put like a thriller on? And she's like, no, Christmas movie until like January. But this was one. It was like an Apple TV movie, which she has. I don't have Apple TV. Like, I don't want anything to do with that just because I don't know. Too many streaming platforms. But she shows me this movie, Spirited. It's hilarious. And the plot of Spirited is that your girlfriend's name is Siri. The plot of Spirited is that Will Ferrell is trying to do the whole like Ghost of Christmas Past thing where there's like past, present, and future. And he picks bad people and him and a bunch of other ghosts scare that bad person into becoming a good person by showing him their past, present, and future, right? And it's hilarious. And there's a song in it called Ripples. And when I was watching it, I was like, holy shit, this movie is teaching my other people's asset sales system. Like, and so his whole point about the ripples let's see. His whole point about the ripples is that when they go to make a difference in the world, they don't choose like some average kind of annoying like person who's just a little bit mean, who by changing his life they would just affect like a few people. They go for people like Ryan Reynolds, which spoiler alert, Ryan Reynolds is like this ultra bad guy who owns this like media company or something. And the point is, if they target people like Ryan Reynolds to change his life, that it'll have a ripple effect and will change thousands or millions of people's lives by making this one really, really bad person really, really good. And so I'm gonna play this. If the sound doesn't work, then so be it. I've never played a YouTube video. You guys can let me know. Can you guys hear it?
No, you have to share audio.
Okay, let's see. Audio. Microsoft speaker. Hmm, I'm not sure if I know how. That'd be a bummer. But you guys can, let's see. Share screen, enable.
It says like computer audio or something like that.
Hmm, microphone. So if I click it to no, I don't think it's gonna work. Damn. All right, I'll move on. But go look up this clip, Ripple by Spirited. It's amazing and it's hilarious and it illustrates everything perfectly. And so he goes, you make a ripple, ripple, ripple. I'll sing for you guys. And so the point of strategic partnerships is that right now you guys are going for one-to-one prospects over and over again. Okay, yeah, I'll share the link. That's a smart idea by you guys. I hope this isn't like copyright or something. I don't think I couldn't find the actual clip on on YouTube. Oh, here, Nathaniel. Let's see. No, let me make that. But I just send you guys the clip. Oh, hold on. There you go. You guys should have all got that. And so you guys can listen to that now or later. But it's amazing. So the ripple effect, most of us are going for one-on-one leads, one-on-one sales calls over and over and over. And how I usually teach it, not as good as Will Ferrell, is that imagine you're sitting by a body of water like a lake and you have a rock. What happens when you throw the rock in the lake? It creates ripples. And when you're going for one-on-one leads, one-on-one sales calls, that's like sitting by that damn lake every single day, all year long, and just dropping little pebbles into it over and over and over. And you got to sit there all year long to drop hundreds of pebbles to get all these sales calls to scale to where you guys want to go. But imagine if instead you could just pick up a giant boulder just one time at the beginning of the year and just drop a boulder into the water. What happens? Hundreds and thousands of ripples can come from it. And so instead, if we just spend a little bit of energy, and I'll show you guys how easy it is to do this, to form partnerships with what we call heavy lifters, the ripple effect will take place and they will send you leads and sales all year long just from dropping one rock in instead of dropping pebbles over and over and over again. And if to illustrate the point of principles, Elvis Presley, one of my favorite examples of partnerships, made over $100 million last year and he's been dead since 1977. And he did that by forming strategic partnerships while he was alive, or his team probably did, but still. And so if a dead man can do $100 million, I'm sure uh, we can all do some pretty cool things. Okay. Is this sounding good to you guys so far? So I'm about to break down the whole system. It's very, very simple, very, very easy. Like a lot of people say, um, like things are, oh, it's simple, but it's not easy. And I'm always like, every time I hear that, I'm like, can something be simple and easy? And I would argue that this is simple and easy. That's funny. I think Ryan, you even mentioned messing me before this, like, man, it's crazy how easy it is. And so there are three ways to use other people's assets to shortcut your success. Number one, we're going to go over how to use OPAs, other people's assets, to acquire clients for your current offer. So if you guys have an offer and you want to scale that offer to the moon, I'm going to show you how to do that using other people's assets, other people's audiences without you working. Um, Number two is I'm going to show you how to use other people's assets to improve your offer or acquire a better offer. Like some of you guys, like maybe you're just selling websites, and I'm like, well, why are you selling websites? And you're like, wow, I don't know, they're not really that great. Like maybe you just need like a little bit better, cooler of an offer to do. I'll show you, or you want an offer that has no fulfillment from your end. If you guys are fulfilling offers, I'll show you how to use other people's assets to acquire a new offer for you to sell, or improve on your current offer to sell. And so, like, basically, if you guys see somebody else killing it with a certain offer, you can go partner with them to basically just sell their thing. Um, and then my favorite, this is what I do most of the time for myself, only because of just how I like things to be. I like creating totally passive income for myself. Um, I just came up with this name a few days ago. It's not very good, but I started calling it ghost income, because like I could literally be a ghost, like not exist on this earth, and this income will still come in. And that's my favorite type. So I'll show you how to create totally passive income for yourself as well. Does that sound good to you guys? So let's see. Okay. This is where you guys, if you are taking notes, this is you want to start really, this is the system. And by the way, like I told you, there's no pitch at the end of this. I have nothing like to sell you guys. And so everything that I'm about to go over is going to be instantly implementable after this Zoom. In fact, if even you weren't paying attention and you wanted to start this while you're on the Zoom, you'll be able to do it, like based on what I'm about to tell you. And I'm going to give you like tons of examples too. And I know I'm going to get this question a lot. It's the most annoying question that I get all the time is, well, Scott, I work with this specific niche. Will this work for me? I have this specific offer. Will this work for me? I promise you, the answer is always going to be yes. You could be teaching the most bizarre thing with the most bizarre service, the most bizarre industry in the world. This will work for you because it's based on principles. And so I'm going to show you examples from our industry. I'm going to show you examples from whatever industry you're in, agency, coach, SaaS, and then examples like just from things that are have nothing to do with us. So I hope that at the end of this, you will believe in yourself that this can work for you. And if you ask me still at the end of the Q&A, well, this is my offer that's so unique, like I have the most unique offer, my answer is going to be yes, it'll work for you. And then you're going to ask, well, like, can you give me an exact example? And I'm going to say, no, how do you think that this would work for you? Because I want to get your brain going and have you brainwash yourself to stop looking for more tactics because we don't want to focus on those. So, step number one, identify and accumulate potential heavy lifters. Okay. Identify and accumulate potential heavy lifters. A heavy lifter, by definition, I made this term up, um, is any company that also has your same target audience. Okay. A heavy lifter is any company that also has your target audience. They can compete with you. Maybe they don't compete with you. And the quickest way to do this, I want you guys to think to yourself, so I'm not going to show you, but secret is that if you just go to ChatGPT, they'll tell you who your heavy lifters are. And so we want to ask yourself, where does my ideal audience hang out? I'm targeting roofers, and I mentioned roofers because I got a message before this saying like, oh, I want to see if this works for roofers. Yes, it does. If you work with roofers, where do roofers hang out? If you work with financial advisors, where do they hang out? If you're a mindset coach and you work with women or a weight loss coach for women or men, like whatever you're doing, like where do they hang out? What software or tools do they use? Who are your competitors? And typically the best one, who works with your ideal audience but does not offer the same thing that you offer? Okay. I know this, if you're watching the recording, this is going to be longer, probably, but I want to go slow because it actually takes the human brain like an insane amount of work to like get things. And so let me know in the chat if I'm ever going too fast or you're like, I don't understand like what you just said. And so heavy lifter, somebody who has your same ideal audience, and ask yourself, where do they hang out? What software or tools do they use? Who are your competitors? Who works with your audience but does not offer the same thing that you do? So that's step number one. And you don't even need anything like this. All of you, have this. Like this is step number one. It's just brainstorming, really. Number two, and really the only thing that you need to make this system work. Like I always wish I was like, I need to come up with a three-step system to tell people because like people like threes, that's what psychology tells you. I'm like, I only got one. I only have one thing that you guys actually need. And even if you don't have this, I can show you how to get it. Like if you have no offer at all. You have to discover your unique gap filler. Again, there's a term like this whole system, like I made up all these terms. So you're not going to find this anywhere else. Your unique gap filler. Your unique gap filler is what can you help people with? What can you help their people, meaning heavy lifters people, with that the heavy lifter does not already help them with? Okay, that's number two, your unique gap filler. I named it that because it's a gap that you can fill for the heavy lifter that they don't already fill. Now, some heavy lifters, um, like for me, I just help people make more money. And so like some heavy lifters, you might not even need a unique gap filler. So that's why like you might not even need one. But like a heavy lifter for me could be like a payment processing company, like a version of Stripe, like Stripe has a million competitors. And so I've gone to them and I've partnered with them. And for them, they are directly, so I have here who benefits from their same audience prospering. Payment processor. Their people make more money. The payment processor makes more money. And so I partner with them to offer my services to their people so everyone makes more money. So with that example, nothing that I do would compete with the payment processor. So everything that I have to offer is a unique gap filler. So you don't really have to think about it that much with certain type of people. Like I've also had people partner with like accountants and bookkeepers. Those are decent heavy lifters because it's something unique that they can offer to their people. And unless you offer accounting or bookkeeping, you don't compete with them at all. But in the event that you come across heavy lifters who also somewhat compete with you, that's where we do a unique gap filler. And so, for example, I mentioned before, a lot of you know me probably from LinkedIn, but over the years, I have taught people how to get more clients on LinkedIn. I've taught people how to close more sales calls using a 4-minute sales pitch. I know how to help you hire commission-based closers using your LinkedIn profile. Like a lot of you guys are out there paying people thousands of dollars to get closers. I can show you how to get closers in like a day with LinkedIn automation. I know how to help you fill up your calendar if you want sales calls using $4 per hour VAs cold calling, cold emailing offer, optimizing your offer by creating something called necessity offers. Like I know all of this stuff, but when I'm going to partner with someone, I am picking out often one of these as my unique gap filler. I will not lead with all of them. And often it depends on the heavy lifter. And so I'll give you an example. Let's say for me, I went to um, let's say I went to someone who a good heavy lifter for me I often lead with my LinkedIn lead gen just because I enjoy it. Um, is somebody who helps you guys with paid ads because I don't touch paid ads. If you do paid ads, that's awesome. I am way too elementary school in my brain to like spend all this time on funnels. Like I've done it, I get ROIs with it, but like a 2 or 3 ROI instead of infinite ROI. And so I would go to them and I would say, hey, are you ever open to collaborations to increase business? Like that's typically I'll get into like outreach messages. Guys, I promise you it's as easy as just asking, hey, are you open to collaborations? You will be shocked at how many people are just like, yeah, like I'm open to collaborate because they're just getting spammed with like people trying to get them on sales calls all day. They're like, oh, like, yeah, we could network. So I would go to them and say, hey, are you ever open to collaborations to increase business? I see that you offer paid ads. Like, do you ever get people who aren't having the most success with paid ads? Let's see if I have this in my notes down here. Um, okay. So I would go to them. If they specialize in paid ads already, I'm offering LinkedIn lead gen as my gap filler. I'd say, do you ever get people who struggle with their paid ads and maybe reach out to you a little bit upset, or they have to their ad account gets restricted, anything like that? And they're like, yeah. They're like, oh, like I'd love to help your people with like to diversify that lead avenue. Like, do you guys have anything for LinkedIn? And if they have something for LinkedIn, like if they already have LinkedIn lead gen, then I can pivot to a different gap filler. But most of the time they don't, and they're like, well, no, we don't really have anything for LinkedIn. And that's where now I can fill in the gap for them. And I would say, well, I would love to help your people get more clients on LinkedIn. And so, like, it's totally organic. We use one software to make it work. And typically, people love it as to diversify their lead gen from paid ads. Like, I would love to help your people for free. We'll get into forming the partnerships. A lot of the time, I offer to help for free, and there's reasons to that. But right now, just to teach you the gap filler. So that's an example of how LinkedIn could be a gap filler for that heavy lifter. But let's say I went to a heavy lifter who specialized in organic lead gen and they have LinkedIn. And so they're like, that would never work with them because they already have LinkedIn. Well, I would pivot to a different one. And I would say, hey, are you open to collaborations? Like, I see you have this awesome LinkedIn thing. Do your people like, do some people ever like struggle with their LinkedIn lead gen? I go, yes, like people do. And you say, oh, awesome. I have this awesome VA cold calling service that I think would be a great addition to them. And now this would be my gap filler. Or maybe somebody did all the lead gen in the world. And I said, oh, do any of your people ever struggle closing sales calls? And they say, yes. And I said, well, I have this thing called the 4 minute sales pitch. I'd love to help your people. And so you guys can see, like, no matter what it is. And so for your guys' offer, what I typically recommend to get to figure out all your different gap fillers is pull apart whatever your offer is. Like, and if you guys are using contractors, you can talk to your contractor about this and tell them that you're using a partnership strategy and that like take all the steps to your offer, but it's like, okay, first we build the websites. Okay, website audits, that could be a gap filler. And then we build a funnel for them. Okay, funnel building, that could be a gap filler, I mean. And then we launch Facebook ads. Okay, Facebook ads now a potential gap filler for you. Like, I was just working with Cam, and Cam, you did an amazing job on it. Cam has a really, really unique service based around YouTube. Um, and he was able, at first look, you're like, wow, I offer like a YouTube content creation service. And then I told him to pull apart his offer. And he came in, I wish I had a screenshot of it. I don't feel like scrolling for it, but he came in with like a list of like 20 different pieces of his offer that could be gap fillers. And like that's what you want. You don't often need that many. And even though you might lead with one, like oftentimes, like the best partnership I ever had, I led with LinkedIn and I ended up helping their community with LinkedIn, followed by VA cold calling, followed by cold emailing. And so I was able to use multiple gap fillers. But typically the easiest way to get their attention and just get somebody open to it is by having a gap filler. And by the way, like I'll show you guys how to reach out. There are 3 ways to get in contact with a heavy lifter. Reach out to them. Easier than that, higher leverage is making posts to attract them to you, like a post absolutely anywhere. And I should have put this up here. You guys can find heavy lifters absolutely everywhere. You can YouTube channels, podcasts, normal people's websites, conferences, conventions, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, uh, I might be forgetting some Twitter, X, like literally they are absolutely everywhere that you can find these people. Um, and so I forgot what I was going to say next. But so we have identify heavy lifters and we have identify your unique gap fillers, which is the main reason that they're going to partner with you. And to answer the question of like why they would, like why would they just give you traffic, is because people can really be motivated 2 different ways. One, they might be monetarily motivated. I actually don't run into these people that often. I actually ran into one the other day. which I was kind of bummed about. I don't like it as much when they're monetarily motivated, meaning that I'm like, hey, we could offer this to your people. And they say, that sounds awesome. I want 30% rev share. And you're like, ah, damn, like it still works, but then you got to give them 30%. But what I find most people are motivated by is just by helping their people. And so the reason they would partner with me, like if somebody specializes with paid ads, it's because you're finding the problem, like find the problem their people are dealing with and explain how your gap filler can solve that for them. Does that make sense? Like the reason because their people have a problem, like they're getting some of them are getting results with ads, but it's a tactic, and so some of them aren't. And so it's like I can solve their people a problem and they can look like a hero. That's like a good thing too. Like make them look like a hero to their people, and it gets rid of headaches for them. And so it's a no-brainer for them to partner with you. Like, yeah, well, like why not? And so either they'll ask for a rev share, which most of the time it still works out. You can agree to some rev share. But oftentimes they just say like, yeah, like let's help my people with that. And feel free to drop any questions in the chat as you go. I'm going to get into a lot of examples. So if your question is based around like, well, do you have like examples besides just what I went over? Yes. Um, okay, here we go. We'll just move in. Does that make sense so far? Like, genuinely, and unmute if it doesn't, that you understand what a heavy lifter is now, and you understand what a unique gap filler is? Cool. Cool. Cam, is a good idea to work backwards. If someone has a LinkedIn mastery course, they'd be promoting on LinkedIn. Um, I'm not sure if I know what you mean. Oh, I see. So offering YouTube is a no-brainer. Yeah, like most of the time, if you just take even a few seconds to do some research, you'll know if you do some research beforehand, you'll know what they already offer going in. Like when I reach out to people who are specializing in paid ads, I know they already do that. And so I know that I have a pretty good idea that like LinkedIn would be a good gap filler. But like I'll give you guys an example. I formed a new partnership just 2 days ago. Um, and I hope my lighting is good, by the way. The heavy lifter, I was on the phone or on the Zoom with him, and he was like, you need a little bit more light on your face." And I was like, "Oh, thanks for hurting my self-esteem." Um, but we formed a partnership based around LinkedIn, and in his community that my trainings, I'm going to show you guys some communities I'm in. In fact, some of you people here are actually from other communities that I'm in. And so like my heavy lifter does all the work to generate these leads, pays $500 to acquire a client. You get put in their community and then they're like, "Hey, here's Scott, the LinkedIn guy." And then you're like, "Oh, hi Scott. Like I just discovered you." And I'm like, "Thank you. You're now a lead of mine." And there's some other benefits too that I'll get into with ghost income. Um, but I'm on the call with this heavy lifter, and he already had stuff in his community for YouTube, um, and Facebook. And so it took sometimes I'm able to form partnerships over chat if they know, like if they've seen my posts and stuff. Other times, typically, it'll just take like one call with them. Like you'll hop on a call, and I always say, if you can make a friend, you can form a partnership. Like I promise, you could be the worst salesperson in the world. You're not selling anything. Like if you can make a friend, you can form a partnership. You want to treat the conversation as like you're next to your best friend, and you guys are brainstorming where to go to dinner that night. You're like, oh, like you want like barbecue? Or like, oh, like I don't know, like what about Chinese food? And like that's how you're collaborating. Like, how can we help your people? Like, let's think about this. And so as I got to collaborating with him, I found out he already had stuff for Facebook ads and YouTube, but he really not only was interested in the LinkedIn, and but then he even goes like, well, do you have something for Instagram? Like you could tell he was like, I really want something for Instagram. And I don't really right now. And so I couldn't help him with that. But so you'll start to notice like again, you're not selling them, but they will become sold on the fact that like they want to help their people with this because you have an expertise that they absolutely do not. And so I'm going to give you guys some examples. I already gave you guys some real world examples like Apple, Microsoft, Elvis, like the list goes on. Actually, I'll give you one more. Oh, I have it down here. Because this one just happened to me. So, like I said, I invest in real estate. It's just where I choose to put my money. And recently I closed on a new condo. that I turned into an Airbnb. And I'm working with a real estate broker. And as I'm working with the broker, as we get to the closing date, randomly I get an email introduction to some sales rep from ADP. And they were like, "Hey Scott, like your ADP does like security systems for houses." And they were like, "Hey Scott, like here's John. He's our ADP guy. Like if you want to pay him for some security, like you pay him for some security." And I didn't take him up on it. I didn't feel like it. But I hope you guys see how powerful that is. That in that partnership, ADP, maybe they have a rev share agreement, maybe they don't, but ADP probably has countless of these agreements with different real estate brokers, and they just get hundreds, if not thousands of leads every single month because of their brokers, because of their partnership. The sales rep just sits back and gets a leads pre-sold and just handed to them. And so my favorite type of partnership, because there are different ways to do it, but my favorite type of partnership is one where you become ingrained in that heavy lifter's business forever. Like when I become like the LinkedIn guy for a community, like everyone goes through Scott's LinkedIn stuff, which is my favorite part. And so it's different because I get the question too. This is actually good. Some of you guys might be like, well, how's this different from referrals? One, like Ryan will tell you, Ryan kills it with referrals, and referrals aren't bad, but I like to make it more predictable and consistent. Where like I'm not just waiting on John to send me people when he wants because he's busy, he forgets. I want to become some people call it integrated marketing. Like I want to become integrated into whatever their offer is. And so oftentimes like they might pose it as a concierge service. Like let's say like that's how they called it. They were like, "Oh, this is our concierge service to get connected to your security system." Like cool. Like that sounds great. Like why not? And so for you, like maybe you're partnering with somebody to offer Facebook ads. Like it's I want to introduce you to Cassie. She's our Facebook ads expert. Like hire her for Facebook ads. Um, and so that's how I like to do it, personally. I just like to be in their business. And so Rebecca is an example. This is Rebecca Duran. Some of you might have been on I did a masterclass with her recently. And that actually goes into how you can get control of other people's offers. So I might use her twice as an example. Rebecca, to show you guys that this can work for anything, her offer is so unique. She helps martial arts studios fill their classes with students. That's what she helps them do. There's not even that many martial arts studios like in the whole country, but this is what she has chosen to make her business. She identified an ideal heavy lifter of hers as companies who produce gis. So a gi is like the uniform that a lot of these, I guess, karate studios wear. What they make their students wear. And so the reason she partnered with them is because um, she assumed correctly that if the gi manufacturers could help their martial arts studios fill their classes more, that they would sell more gis. Does that make sense? So she went to them and said, "Do you think that you would sell more uniforms if all of your martial arts studios, if their classes were full every month?" And they were like, "Yeah, of course." And she said, "Well, I specialize in helping martial arts studios max out their classes. Like, what if we did something together?" And they were like, "Sure." And for them to getting her into their flow, for her to become ingrained, it's whenever they don't have like I'm in a lot of communities, like a school community, a circle community, a Slack community, that type of stuff, because I'm on this online world. Some of these brick and mortar guys don't have that, but they all have somewhere where they store their audience. So in this case, it was an email list. And so they regularly email out her offer for her. And I don't want to hurt your guys' brains, but I am going to introduce one more concept to this because Rebecca did it. She took it a step further, and she, instead of doing her lead gen services, which I believe are paid ads for the martial arts studios. Instead of doing the services for all the martial arts studios, she licensed her paid ads systems to the gi producer. So what licensing in is like renting out a thing that you own to somebody else. And so, for example, let's say I had a LinkedIn course, and let's say Sandra was like, "Hey, I want to sell your LinkedIn course. Are you open to collaborating on that?" I would say yes. And then we would come to an agreement where I rent out my LinkedIn course to Sandra so that she can now sell it. And then we come to every partnership is different. So maybe she keeps 90% of the revenue. I get 10% of the revenue. Maybe it's 80-20. I have a partnership right now with a guy, some of you guys know Frankie Finn. And by the way, for those of you guys that know Frankie, the reason that we ended up partnering was because I saw him posting an offer of his and realized we had almost the same strategic partnership systems. And he's the only other person that I've really seen like have something similar to me. And we have slightly different approaches. He refers to heavy lifters as shoe stores. Um, and his whole thing is like if you're trying to sell more shoes, like go to the shoe store already selling shoes. So that's like the heavy lifter. Um, but so we partnered up so like everybody who signs onto like my core coaching offer for this also gets his shoe store course because and so that's a perfect example. I now license that from him and I give it to anybody who signs up with me as an extra bonus. And so now they get Frankie's stuff. So I've licensed stuff from him where how our partnership is he gives me 100% of the revenue. So I have a 100% profit margin business. He just wants the leads info. So like some of my students here, like when you signed up, I gave your name and email to Frankie for him to add to his email list and upsell into his mastermind. And that's the partnership we have. But I hope you can see the power. Like, if I was starting from zero, some of you guys might not have an offer at all. Or you're like, actually, I'll ask you, like, how many of you guys, like, show of hands, like, pivot offers a lot? Like, you're like, well, I'll offer this. And then next year, you're offering something totally different. And like, you're complete pivoting. Like, I've done that too. Um, and so next time you like pivot from an offer, it's not a good thing we do that, really. But like, go to somebody with the coolest offer. Like Frankie had an offer this past year that was how to close high ticket deals, agency owners, how for you guys to close high ticket deals using 5-minute Loom videos. And I was like, I don't want to put all the work into learning how to do that myself. Sounds like he's got it figured out. Like, hey Frankie, do you want to license that to me and we can partner on this? And he's like, yeah. Like, so now instantly I make a post on my Facebook profile, 5-minute Loom video closing. Like I get to license his testimonials, his case studies, all this different stuff. And I didn't have to work my butt off like getting any type of new offer. And so what Rebecca did was she licensed her paid ad system to this gi manufacturer and came to some sort of agreement. Point is, it resulted in her making $800,000 from a single heavy lifter without her having to do any fulfillment. Like she had to step away. Her father actually passed away, and she had to step away from a whole year. And her bank account increased by $800,000 because she licensed. And so that's one way you can create ghost income for yourself is with licensing. But the overall takeaway here is that she identified where do my people hang out, key manufacturers. Do I have a gap filler? Her gap filler was just paid ads. And then how can we partner together? And she did licensing, but maybe she could have also not done licensing. Does that make sense to you guys? Um, Eddie, uh, I believe Eddie's last name is Zhang. Eddie, he is a coaching business. Different example for you guys. And Eddie helps personal trainers get more, grow their business. And so he's a coach for personal trainers. Like his main offer is like a $15,000 offer. So this can work for low ticket and high ticket. It works for anything. Um, And so he works with personal trainers in Ohio. And so when he was starting this, he was like, okay, like where do my people hang out? Like where do they hang out? And he learned that every single personal trainer had to go through a personal training certification company in Ohio. And so he went to them and he was like, "Hey, do any of your people uh like ask about growing their business and getting clients?" And they were like, "Yeah, all the time." And then he's like, "Well, do you help them with that?" And they were like, "No, obviously not. We're a certification company. Like we get them certified." And then he was like, "Oh, I have this really cool stuff where I help them do XYZ and get more clients." And they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Like we'll think about it." And so then Eddie went away. I don't know if he went in person or via phone, but it doesn't really matter. You can do either. I've never had to go in person anywhere, but you can. You'd probably be able to get a lot of heavy lifters doing that because nobody else is doing it. Um, but then he followed up with them like a week later, and they were like, "Yes, we thought about it," and like they collaborated, and they have a newsletter they send out. They're like, "We have this newsletter to all of our tens of thousands of personal trainers, and we're looking for more content for it. Like, how about you write us a weekly newsletter to our people, and we'll send it out, and we'll like feel free to pitch. You know, at the very end, you can pitch like your whatever services." And Eddie's like, "Well, I'm not a copywriting guy." And I was like, "A weekly newsletter is a bit much for me. How about we do monthly?" Um, and they were like, "Sure." And so last time I talked to Eddie about this was really been like a couple of years now. He was getting on average two $15,000 clients every single month from this newsletter. And so as long as this heavy lifter is in business, Eddie has a multi six-figure business. And the cool part is you guys can do this again and again and again. And every partnership will result in different amounts of income. But like Frankie, he's grown three separate businesses to seven figures with just heavy lifters. And he's had heavy lifters generating him seven figures from one guy. So Eddie, 350K plus. Does that make sense? Um, Because remember, other people's assets are your assets too. Other people's like I want you to remember this. Like when I first learned this years ago, like man, it stuck with me. My dad and mom, they own a screen printing and embroidery shop. So if you guys ever need stuff on sweatshirts or hats, let me know. But I taught my dad this, and who runs a screen printing shop. He loved it so much for the past 2 years now. Almost every time I see him, he goes, "Hey, using other people's assets." I'm like, "Yep, exactly. Using other people's assets. Always trying to figure it out. It works for anything." And so like here's another fun thing. So there's this guy I use this, my students know this. I use this in like a mini lesson over the weekend. There's this guy I watch, his name is Harry Mack. I like rap. Don't judge me. And Harry Mack freestyle raps. It's incredible. Like he'd be like, "Daniel, give me three words." And Daniel would be like, "I don't know, bunker, apocalypse." I don't know, my brain's on that. And computer. And he'd be like, "Okay," and he'll make a whole song out of bunker, apocalypse, and computer. It's absolutely incredible. And I was at the gym. I listen to him when I'm on like the treadmill at the gym, or I watch him on YouTube rather. And I went to his page and I went to like most popular videos. And I was looking at it and I was like, "You got to be kidding me." Like another example of partnership. Sandra, you know me, yeah, he's so good. So these are his most popular videos. You guys can see this. Just show me a quick hand if you can see this. Okay, cool. Um, so these are his videos. His highest ones mostly are 4 million, 4 million, 4 million, 3 million, right? Like that's and these I've seen these all. You can see on my phone, all of these would be shown that I watched them. And then I looked and he has this video with 9.3 million views. So over twice the amount of views of his other videos. And I know this video, and it's one of my least favorite videos that he's ever done. And I was like, "You gotta be kidding me. This one has over twice the amount of views of the others." Do you guys want to guess if I already taught you this and you're one of my students, don't guess. But you want to guess the only thing that's different about this video and why he has double the amount of views? Put it in the chat or feel free to unmute. There's only one thing different about the entire piece of content. Anybody have any guesses? Ah, there you go. Daniel, woo, props to Daniel. Nice guess, dude. Absolutely. So he did a collaboration for this video with Marcus Veltri, who's some apparently really talented piano player. And the reason I hate this video, and don't worry, there's going to be another lesson on this. The reason I hate this video is because half of rap, in my opinion, is like that there's an awesome beat with it. And Harry Mack, the one thing that surprises you is like he has these professional made beats, like they're so good. And the beat goes along with like the flow and cadence and lyrics and all that stuff. And so it doesn't really fit with piano. Like piano is like my favorite instrument to listen to. But this guy plays piano and Harry Mack freestyles over it, and you're like, what are we like what are we listening to here? Like over piano? Like it doesn't really fit. But it has over twice the amount of views of any of the other videos from one collaboration. And he's already like Harry Mack is a multi-millionaire. He gets it's just insane the amount of sponsorships and stuff. But even he can use other people's assets to shortcut his success. And I also wanted to highlight to you guys, maybe you're listening to this and you have thought that the reason that you cannot scale your business is because you have been told that you need an irresistible offer. You need all these crazy guarantees. You need all this amazing stuff in your offer. Like your offer is why, like, I don't have enough guarantees. That's why nobody's taking me up on my offer. Or maybe you think you're a bad salesperson and you're like, well, I'm just not good at sales. Like that's why nobody's taking me up on my offer. This Harry Mack's offer is his content that he produces. That's his offer. This is by far, in my opinion, one of his worst offers that he's ever made. Like, is so boring. I'm like, I can't even like replay it. And it still didn't matter. Why? Because he had a heavy lifter just funneling him traffic. And so for you guys, like you should always strive to have a really good offer. But with this strategy, it literally could not matter less because when you have a heavy lifter doing, remember the golfing, all the putting for you until the ball gets this close to the hole, it doesn't matter. You could have the worst offer in the world. You could be the worst salesperson in the world. I haven't hopped on a sales call and oh my gosh, I used to hate sales calls. I would get like all nervous. Like I'm really good at them, but I would get so nervous by the end of every sales call, I'd literally be sweating. And I'd be like, dude, I was like, man, I can't do this any longer. Like I hate sales calls. And when you have a heavy lifter sending you people, it doesn't matter. Like the people are so pre-sold. And even you can get to the point where your heavy lifter does the sales for you, which is a pretty cool place to be. And so either you can have the heavy lifter just, like you're part of the flow and they send people to you. Like Ryan on his 20K day, it took two sales calls. One he said was 9 minutes long, one was 12 minutes long. So in that example, they got the ball like this close to the hole, and Ryan's like, okay, I'll put it in. With me, I like when they even do the sales for me. And so, for example, like a few communities I'm in, hopefully my computer can handle this. I have so many tabs. So I'm in one person's Slack community here. Some of you may even be from here, which is totally cool. I hope that my LinkedIn trainings have helped you guys in here. Um, I'm in somebody else's circle community here. Some of you might be from this community too. And then I'm in one other school community, which is a new one that I'm in. And so I'm like the LinkedIn guy for all of these. And so when somebody signs up for this heavy lifters program, they get sent my LinkedIn training videos. Um, that's important to me because I have, and this is where ghost income can come in. I have an affiliate income with Ulink. And so instantly when they come in, they see my training videos and they get pre-sold on LinkedIn, they get pre-sold on me, and I offer to help for free just on my training videos. I don't know if it'll work. Okay. Um, Too much refreshing there. They sign up for Ulink, so that gives me affiliate income. And then they say, would you like a LinkedIn done for you setup? And then I don't even know what they charge up front actually, but they charge the people like, $1,000 if they want it done for them. I do the done for you setup and I get $500. And it done for you set, it takes me, 15 minutes to do a campaign setup. So I'm getting paid like 2 grand an hour for that. And if I wanted to make that totally passive, I would just hire a VA to do the setup. But so I got to the point there where they literally can do the sales for you, kind of like Rebecca did. Um, Now you do not have to help for free to start, but typically it is easiest to help for free in some way. So here's the main kind of sequence that works well for me a lot of time. You help for free or a discount. Now, when I say free, I'm going to give you guys a bunch of different ways you can use this. Like it's really, really flexible. Other people's assets too, which is awesome. So for me, I don't like doing a lot of calls or anything that just takes time. Like me being on this call, like we're 7 minutes in, like, whoo, man, you guys got me today. Like you guys got me for over an hour of my time here. Like that's a lot for me personally, because I like to spend other time doing other stuff. And so for me, I just help for free with my training videos. I say, hey, how about we help your people for free to start training videos ingrained in their customer flow? That's what I like. You can also do live free trainings. And so I've done this before when people are like, well, really, I want you to do like a live training to start. And you say, okay. And you go, you do a live training for their people. You're going to make money from that live training directly. And then what I would urge you to do is record it and then ingrain that recording in everything they do. But helping for free is just the lowest hanging fruit because it's just like you're helping for free. And then I've also had people like, I don't know if he's on here, but Martin, a student of mine was like, well, I don't want to do anything for free. Like I'll do it at a discount. And so actually I had him up here. Yeah, here it is. Partnered with a nationwide financial advisory company and with like their training department. Now, why would this company partner with him to help them with LinkedIn or with lead generation? That's his offer is lead gen. Because the more clients each of their uh, advisors close, the more money the brokerage as a whole makes. And so he didn't want to do anything for free. So he started with a discount. He's like, we can help. I think he closed like five of their clients, but he framed it so like, we're giving your people like a heavy discount. And then he's built the relationship from there. From this single heavy lifter, he's generated over 500, I believe $550,000 in revenue since I showed him this like 2 years ago from one heavy lifter. So he started with a discount. So you can also add two. Free is easiest, but you can always do discount. Um, you can try and just help people with your high ticket to start. Like I think Ryan, you're even doing that, which is awesome. I've always done I always give for free or discounts or whatever. And then what ends up happening is you can get to the point where you're like, okay, let me help all your people for free. Then you're like, hey, why don't we like if you have a done for you service in this instance, why don't we just do it for like a fewer people? Do you have any people who would like test this with us so we can get some testimonials? And typically a heavy lifter always has people who like they know instantly who would be down for the test. They're like, oh yeah, like Jack over there. Jack always loves to test new things. Like, let's try it for him. And then you can get to the point where you're like, oh, this worked really great for Jack. Why don't we just do this like on an ongoing basis for all your people? And then that's how you can scale to seven figures with just one heavy lifter. Um, let's see. I had something else I wanted to say about that. Um, are there any questions on that? Oh, this is what I wanted to say. So I mentioned all the possibilities for heavy lifters before. Let's say, um, let's say you don't want to record videos and you don't want to be on camera live. Totally understand that. I used to be the same way. Um, Heavy lifters, a lot of people have podcasts, but let's say you like talking, you can do a podcast episode with them and expand it from there. Let's say you don't want to do podcasts, let's say you don't want to do video, you don't want to do any of that stuff. You can go to heavy lifters who have a large websites with a ton of traffic going to that website. And for example, let's say they have a blog portion, an article per portion on their website. You can reach out to them and say, hey, um, oh, yeah, here it is. I almost forgot to go over the outreach messages for you guys. You can go to them and say, hey, I noticed that you have this article, like this article section, helping people do whatever. I'm really good at helping people get more clients on LinkedIn. What do you think about co-creating content? Like I could write an article for them based on around LinkedIn. We could put it on your website. What do you think? And then I would write the article. I would have AI write the article even if I wanted to, and then put a call to action at the end of the article, funneling people to whatever my sales process is. Does that make sense? And so even if all you want to do is use AI to write an article for you, other people's assets can still work for you in a big way because a lot of these companies are getting tons of traffic into their stuff. Um, So let's see. Cam, what if I grabbed a heavy lifter, went to one or two of their people, and made a training that shows live how to produce several YouTube videos for free? Yes. And so the reason helping for free works so well is because statistically, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have done this. I know I've done it. So statistically, 90% of people that ever sign up for a course, regardless of price point, never complete the course. Like raise your hand if you signed up for a course and you ended up like just not like completing it. Like all of us have. And so we know that yes, we help for free and we give first, and that we're likely to be reciprocated later. But we also know that 90% of the people that go through your free whatever it is or the article, they're going to be pre-sold on the idea of that, but they're not going to want to do it themselves. Like everybody always wants done for you work. And so then they're gonna like if you have a done for you service, this is for you. They would reach out to you after like they would be like, wow, Cam, that's awesome that we can produce YouTube videos like that. I don't want to do that. And they'll be like, how about you do it for me? Um, Exactly, Janice. So you would co-create content to help them at no cost, so you can have the CTA link to your course, your website. Yeah, and like this is really powerful. Like I know an article sounds lame. This is one of Frankie's favorite ways to do it is the article. Like a lot of these people, like think if they're spending, let's say, like 50 grand a month on ads, they're getting a lot of heavy traffic to their website. And so you write an article once. So this is when we're talking about the ripple effect. Like drop a boulder in, that's all you have to do. You wrote that article, that's the boulder, and then the ripples come from that. That's exactly right. Um, so yeah, YouTube, podcasts, articles, basic outreach scripts. I'm telling you, like I have more of these, but the easiest ones at any point, like if you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, literally just say, how are you? Or are you open to collaborations? That's it. Like if all you take away from that, like this is why I said like right now you could open up some social media, reach out to a heavy lifter and say, hey, are you open to collaborations to increase business? You have a chance of them saying yes. And I've only been told like a hard no once ever. Like literally, I remember the guy, like you guys might actually know him. I'm not going to say his name, but he was like, I'm not entertaining this conversation any longer. And I was like, okay. Like it was like a little bit rude. I was like, all right, dude, like come on. Like, and we knew each other too. But it doesn't matter. And actually, that's another point for you guys. Like I know some of you guys are going to watch this. And by the way, I don't have a done for you service right now for this. I urge you guys so much to stop going for done for you services until you learn like more principles. Like I could ask you guys, like, how many of you guys, and you can just answer this for yourself, think that your business is a serious thing? Like you're like, yeah, like that's me. Like tap yourself on the chest and say me. Like this is a serious thing for me, for my family. And we're always looking for the magic bullet. Like we're always looking for the magic, like done for you service. When in no other part of life would we look at a serious profession. Like if you were trying to become a pilot, you're like, imagine if you were like, well, I don't really want to go through the 2,000 hours of flying simulating. So like, can somebody just fly this plane for me? Like, what are you talking about? No, it's a serious thing. You have to learn to do that. If I were trying to make it in the NBA, I'd be like, I don't really want to learn how to shoot this basketball. Can somebody do it for me? But for some reason, in our industry, we are always looking for done for you work. Like I opened up a done for you appointment setting offer earlier this month. Like like just for some extra, just quick cash. And like the demand for it was insane. I had to turn people away because I was like, you're not at the point, like you shouldn't be getting a done for you anything. Like you have to learn how to form these partnerships yourself. And so just like a side rant there, like stop searching for the easy done for you thing. Like take the extra little, like anytime when you can spend a little bit of extra time, energy, effort to learn how to do something that changes your life. Like it's not just a serious business for you, but your families too. Like imagine what you would do with all that free time back, like more money, like so that is never a concern from you, but you have to learn how to do it yourself. And so I hope that you guys leave here and aren't just excited. Like I remember the first time I went through a training similar to this, I learned other people's assets. I thought about all these ideas and like I was so excited. But then for some of you, what might happen is that a little wave of like doubt might hit you. And you might say, well, why would this heavy lifter say yes to me? I can't urge you enough. If you don't try and reach out to them, the answer is already no. Like the worst case thing that could happen is them to say no to you. The answer is already no. And the only new answer that you could possibly get is yes. It is the only answer that you get, maybe a maybe. But if you don't do it, the answer is already no. And so I don't want you to be scared after this, like, oh, I have all these ideas. Like, I don't know. Like, you might get rejected. Like, I'll show you actually. So with Ulink, I have an affiliate income with them. But I've been trying, let's see, yeah, I still have it open. I had been trying this tab called strategic partnership. I've I've been trying to get some type of partnership with them for like, I wonder if I can scroll down and see it, like 3 or 4 years now. Because since 2021, so 4 years now. And I send them a message once every few months. And the reason being is they have so many users. And remember, software can be a really good heavy lifter. They have so many users that if we can ever really come to a true agreement, like instant, probably multi six figures for me to my bottom line from this one heavy lifter. And so I just try once every few months. And finally, I came to an agreement with them to do a very small partnership where I said, hey, what if I use I said, would you give me a free Ulink account if I only use it to prospect to increase and get more Ulink signups? And it sounds like so dumb. I was like, I just asked for one account, but they said yes. And so after 4 years, we formed the first little bit of a partnership, which is a huge deal because now, just like I showed you, by starting for free, you can scale it from there. And already, I just asked for one free account. So this gives me infinite ROI because it's a free account. He was like, I'll give you up to 10. And so now I have 10 LinkedIn profile worths to go out and prospect for me and get that infinite ROI. But the more to that story is that sometimes you might have to follow up with them. And like now, like this will make me some money from, getting these accounts for free. But really, it's what could happen after that, that this single partnership can really scale me up. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Yes, good question. So I will do exactly, Cam. So Cam said I got six no's just this week from trying like doing one-on-one sales calls. That's exactly my point. Like one, this stuff only takes like 5 minutes a day to implement. Like Frankie, he sends 3 to 5 total outreach messages a week. I do even probably less than that, and I'll show you how to post to attract heavy lifters to you. But think about all throughout your career, even if you're just starting out, like think about all the outreach messages that you guys have sent trying to get one-on-one sales calls. Imagine if you did even 2% of that type of outreach to heavy lifters. And so Apul said, is it possible to give more examples of no fulfillment offers? Yes. So no fulfillment offers could be one, this is great for affiliate marketing. I don't really consider myself an affiliate marketer, but I have become one from the strategic partnership system. I used to use it a lot more to get like high ticket clients for myself, like what Ryan's doing. And Ryan, by the way, let me know in the chat if you have to go at some point. We're going over time. I'll let you kind of just tell your like how you're doing things because I think it's good for people to hear from someone besides me. Obviously, this is like my thing, but it's really working for a lot of people. Um, so I used to use it for high ticket, but then I'll tell you what, like I have a bunch of streams of income, and like man, my favorite, even though it's less income than like your high ticket stuff, there's no better income than totally passive income. And so I have an affiliate with a few. So like Ulink is one. Oh, that's a different one. So Ulink, like I pulled this up earlier. Like look at all these are all emails I get for people wanting Ulink account setups. Like four have just come in today from heavy lifters. Where like all these people I'm getting affiliate income for. I woke up to four. Like that's amazing. Like all of these, like I don't prospect for it. Or I have another, I white label a software. It's called Paracone Leads. It doesn't matter why. It's a thing from college. Paracone, I named it. Um, but all of these Stripe payouts, totally passive. I took a screenshot of my Stripe account. So this is all from one heavy lifter actually, because this software helps people with cold emailing and cold calling, but it's not something I typically lead with. But you can see here, since I started this is all completely passive income from one heavy lifter. $129,000 in net volume sales, totally passive. And so this is for you if you just want income, you don't really care where it comes from. Um, Being an affiliate of software, starting your own software. Um, I like affiliate because then you don't have to do any support or licensing other people's courses. And so what you would do, sorry, is you would take that affiliate software, you would take that software, you would take that licensed course, and you would plug it into a different heavy lifter's customer flow. So it'd be like I take Ulink and I plug it into another heavy lifter's customer flow, passive income. I take my other software and I plug it into a heavy lifter's customer flow, passive income. If I were to take Frankie's Loom video course and find a heavy lifter that thinks that would be really cool, and I plugged it into their customer flow and people had to pay for access to it, totally passive income. Does that make sense? Let's see. Um, Jenny, yes. This is being recorded, and so everybody will get the recording. There's no like you don't have to pay for it. There's no. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Nathaniel, yup, exactly. So Nathaniel, this is perfect for you. I'm glad you're here because if anybody's interested, I can be your heavy lifter right now. Nathaniel has a really cool Facebook automation outreach software. And so it takes over your Facebook profile and sends friend requests. And this is actually, so funny enough, this is a perfect example. This is utilizing a principle of other people's assets. What you would do with it is you would join Facebook groups that your target audience is filled with. And so if I were targeting agency owners, I would find a Facebook group, I would join it. There would be 30,000 agency owners already in there that the Facebook group owner is the heavy lifter. They've done all the heavy lifting to generate and amass all of this audience of Facebook group. Like it took them probably years, hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad spend. And now I would take Nathaniel's tool and it does like what Ulink does for LinkedIn, but for Facebook. It would auto friend request my ideal prospects in that group. And so you can even auto friend request heavy lifters too. And then it would send them a message when they accept your friend request, stuff like that. And so that I hope you can see like like the tool works amazing. Why it works amazing is because of other people's assets using other people's Facebook groups. Um, and yeah, Nathaniel, after this, I can have you drop your affiliate link to that in the chat if you want. Um, so that's how you take it completely passive. And so I hope that makes sense. You can use it for high ticket. You can use it for completely like when I tell you that income is completely passive, I mean like that $130,000 screenshot I just showed you. Like I literally could have been asleep. I could be a ghost. I could be anything, and that income would have hit my bank account. And so to recap, you're going to find your heavy lifters, identify your gap filler, lead with the symptom or pain that the heavy lifter's audience is experiencing. So they're not going to like they have to see like their people have to be dealing with something that the heavy lifter doesn't help them with. And so you have to find out like do they help them with it? And if not, do they already have a plan to help them with it? And you can find this all just by asking basic questions or on a quick call with them, whatever the case may be. Because if they already have a plan, like if I'm like, I can help your people with LinkedIn, and they're like, well, we already plan to do that. It's like, okay, that's not a good gap filler. Then offer for free or discount to start. You don't have to. Um, I do just because that works for me. And that kind of ties into my affiliate and the passive income goal. It just works for me, but you don't have to. Um, then offer to do it for some other people and then offer to do it for everyone. Let's see if I got anything else for you guys. I also want to urge you guys. Um, actually, yeah, I'll move down. Um, there's a couple extra principles that I just wanted to kind of like tell you guys real quick. There's one where I talk about exponential growth. A lot of us have been taught and told that we have to grow little by little by little. Meaning like I have my business this year, I'm doing 10,000 a month. Next year, I can do 20,000 a month. The next year, I can do 30,000 a month. Like, no, we can experience and you can experience exponential growth. Like to the point where you can't even comprehend. Like before my first partnership with a heavy lifter, I was at like $4,000 a month. The next month, 30,000. The next month, 60,000. The next month, 145,000 in a 6 week period. Like in 3 months, I went from a few $1,000s a month to with one heavy lifter, completely changing my life forever. I took all that money, I put it into real estate, I put it into Airbnbs, and now even without business, all of that cash flow from that real estate is basically enough to so I don't have to work again. All within 3 months from one heavy lifter. And so if you're watching this and you're like, oh, like, yeah, this sounds really good. Like, no, like literally go take action on it right after this. Go do it because you can change you and your family's life forever quickly. Exponential growth is possible. When you look at all the major companies that you might know, like they didn't just slowly, like, oh, we're at 7 figures. Like, no, they're like, oh, I just started and this year I just hit my first billion. Microsoft, Apple, Uber, Tesla. Like this big stuff. And the other thing is something called first mover's advantage, which basically states the quicker you take action, the more you have to gain. The longer you wait to take action, the more other people who are already taking action are gaining. And you can always take action, but the longer you wait, the less you will get. Like I always say, like, how many of you guys think that you could make a hamburger better than McDonald's? All right, show of hand, put in the chat. Like McDonald's hamburger, yeah. So like, it's not really that impressive. Like, I don't grill, and like, I could probably make a hamburger. Like, if I really try better than McDonald's. But who sells more hamburgers every single year than anybody else is McDonald's. Why? I'll tell you a secret, guys. Because they moved first. They were the first ones. And so, whenever you guys have any chance to put in a little bit of money, a little bit of time, a little bit of energy to make a huge difference for you and your family, you have to act right now. Don't get off this call and just not do it. Implement it ASAP. And so, like actually, I can show you. Maybe I have it pulled up. So, this is like a private chat I have for like people who sign up. So like I'm teaching you like there's nothing new you're gonna learn if you would ever work with me in the future on this. Like it's just like extra support. This is Claudia. I don't know if she's on here, but Claudia signed up and I saw her make I'll show you guys some post examples. I saw her make a post for heavy lifters like to attract to her. Like she paid me at like 11 p.m. my time. I don't know what her time zone is. And like an hour later, I saw her make a post and I was like, holy crap, she went through like this my other people's assets training already and she got heavy lifters in less than 8 hours. Like, like you can do this now. She already agreed to do a workshop for other people. Like all this type of stuff. Like it was incredible. Cassie, there's another one down here. She and Cassie, I don't know if Cassie's still on here. She literally sent one outreach message. I'll see if I can find it. She sent one outreach message and she was like, "Oh, here's Frankie." He said, "Speaking of, you should share our conversations with folks to show how easy it was to get Frankie as a partner." I couldn't scroll. We'd been talking so much, I couldn't scroll back and find it. I literally was like, "Hey, Frankie, want to partner on this?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And we weren't friends. We don't know each other. Um, so here's Cassie. She goes, "A little success story. The first heavy lifter DM landed a partnership, like already. Like this stuff is simple and easy to do. I promise you, anybody, um, literally anybody can do it." And so, let's see if I post examples here. Okay, so here's some example posts. So this one time I said, "Do you have a Facebook group and you would let me pay you to go live with them for 1 hour?" The idea behind this one is I partnered with them to let me take advantage of their audience, and at the end of it, I sold something like really, really low ticket at the end of like a free masterclass, like as if I'm doing now if I was going to pitch something to you guys at the end. Um, and then I would give them some of the proceeds from it. But then the power of that is that I get all the new customers. Like there's another tidbit for you guys. There's something I teach called a trust offer. I learned it from my mentor Elijah. Statistically, when somebody pays you as little as even $1, they are 8 times more likely to pay you again in the future. And so when I learned that, like it changed everything for me. So like we're always going after high ticket, which is cool. But I was like, man, if I can get people to pay me just a few bucks, they're 8 times more likely. So like, um, if you guys follow me on Facebook, which some of you guys do, or probably everybody now if you're on this, I'll do a lot of random offers. Like I'll do a lot of like every few months I'll give away my LinkedIn system for 97 bucks and like just like weird stuff. It's because there's a reason behind it. Because now if I got like I did a trust offer for LinkedIn last fall, I got 70 people to sign up for it. That's like 2% of my entire Facebook friends list is now 8 times more likely to pay me again in the future. And so then inevitably when I drop like a higher ticket offer, like, oh, surprise, 2/3 of the people in here are people who have paid me $1 before. And so just info for you guys if you guys can think of a trust offer for yourself. This is the easiest one. If you have, and you don't have to have a network. I said anyone in my network. You can do this in somebody else's Facebook group, on somebody else's, like any type of post, wherever your heavy lifters could be. I literally just say, is there anyone here? This is the post that Claudia made, some version of, is there anyone here who insert what your heavy lifter does? Like, I don't know if I have it here. No, so I did another one for copywriters because I identified copywriters as a good heavy lifter. Oh, so there's a Sean. I don't know if Sean's on here. Sean works with roofers and solar. And so he went into a roofing and solar group and he said, "Hey, is anyone here a like roofing supplier? Like it supplies materials for roofing." And he got like two heavy lifter partnerships, like people who said, like, yes, I'm open to collaborating just from this post. And so it's super easy because people, again, people are so used to being spammed with getting on sales calls that people love to collaborate. Some people are really old school and like no matter how good the pitch is, if it's something to sell them right away, they just say no. But collaborating is just super, super simple. So overall, action steps for you guys, super simple. Ask yourself, where does your ideal audience hang out? What software tools do they use? Who are your competitors? Who has your ideal audience but doesn't compete with you? And is there any way that you can fill a gap for them? Or maybe you want a killer offer to sell, go partner with somebody else who already has a killer offer. Um, and yeah, I can give you guys put a create a copy of this doc. I can drop this in the Facebook chat too. And then literally just take 5, 10 minutes a day to use other people's assets. Like I was serious before. Like if you're watching this or if you're watching the recording, maybe I'll make a bonus or something. Like if you drop this in the comments of like whatever it is, like your picture of other people's assets or my assets too. Like literally keep this at your desk. Like I have a little desk here. Like I keep it there because I want every day. Like before you guys are like, oh, let me fire up my one-on-one sales call thing. Like no, no, no. Like before you do that, before you do one-on-one sales calls, reach out to a heavy lifter first, make a post. And oh, the easiest way is to get referred to them. Everybody knows somebody. And so if I was like, if I wanted to connect with payment processors, I'd be like, hey, Ryan, who do you use for payment processing? Like, do you use Stripe or do you use someone else? And Ryan would be like, oh, I use Stripe, but I heard about this guy who does this. And I'm like, great. Can you make me or can you refer me to him? Put me in a group chat. It's beyond like I can't explain enough how beyond easy this stuff is. Um, Let's see. Let's see. Any questions? How can you, Cam? Yeah. So I hope I should answer your question there. How can you make a post like that without offering cash? That's a really bad example that I showed there first. That was the only one I've ever done where I've offered money. Um, and yeah, you could do a rev share too, but usually don't have to offer money at all. Um, and so yeah, that's basically everything. Ryan, you can come in now and just say your experience because I like people who get the best results, people come in, learn it, implement the principles, but maybe have like their own twist on it, and different things like that. So Ryan came in, started working together almost a year ago now, maybe, and he's just absolutely knocked out of the park, and he sells a 10K offer, right, Ryan?
Yep. It's a 10K offer. And it's like a one-on-one thing. Yeah. But yeah, I just like to like reiterate, man, like how easy it is. I don't know if anyone was looking at my little square of me while we were doing this whole thing, but I was on my phone, right? And I was literally having three different conversations on LinkedIn with people that are ideal heavy lifters for me because it's really that easy. And I know you don't do any like sales calls or anything like that. Um, I like doing like really short sales calls because I like doing the vibe check, right, of people. Like, am I gonna actually like working with you? Because if you get someone sent to you and they pay you all this money and it's like, oh, you got to work with them for 3 months and you don't like them, it's like, oh, okay, that sucks. But yeah, all my sales calls, like legitimately the longest ones, 20 minutes, maybe. Usually they're like 10 minutes and under. Because my partners and my heavy lifters and stuff, they tee them up to where sales calls are really just Q&As. Like, hey, does it include this? Does this come with it? I'm like, yeah, cool. And they're like, awesome. So cool. Let's do it. And I know for me, taking the system, a lot of what I do is I really like to find potential heavy lifters that I can create a win-win-win with. So I win, they win, their clients win, right? So instead of maybe like, I mean, I do a lot of like the like let's co-create some content together. I actually did that with there's a podcast called the Copywriter Club podcast. I did a free podcast episode with them, and then I pushed a little bit further, and I did a private training for their like high tier membership group. And I didn't even really know what I was doing back then, just trying to implement the system and just kind of like failing forward. I still
Hmm.
get people reach out to me from that. Like they're like, "Hey man, I saw your like," and I don't do any sort of support in that group. I'm not even in it, right? It's just my little training that lives in there somewhere. People see it and they reach out to me. And I get like maybe like one a month people that reach out to me from that. But a lot of what I like doing is I like partnering with people who serve the same audience and they help them, but in a different way. And if they were to bring me in to help their people, everybody wins, right? So like one, I was literally talking with them on this while you were doing your call, and I was like, oh, I kind of know this. I can look at my phone, right? And I was like, she helps course creators like really maximize their course, make it as like efficient and impactful as possible. She does audits for them and all this kind of stuff. And I literally reached out and it was literally the easiest connection message. Hey, I think we serve the same kind of people. You ever open to a collaboration? I had some fun ideas. I think you might like to hear. Yeah, sure. She said, I'm all ears! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And I was like, cool. And so I pitched her the idea. I was like, hey, you help people get their courses like perfectly ready to rock and roll. I can help them sell it. Do you think there's like some opportunity for us to collaborate? And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. So I sent her my calendar link. We're going to have a little chat about how I can come in and be the heavy lifter, or not be the heavy lifter, but be kind of this partner for her that now shows her people how to do something that she'd never really taught them how to do. Right. And it took literally like 10 minutes to get that call booked, like
That's
really,
exactly
really
right.
fast.
And to Ryan's point, if all you do even is do the initial like training and Ryan's like, there's this other version of him out there bringing him leads, that can last for years to come. Like I'm on people's YouTube channels where like digital me is just working all the time. Like digital me is out there doing whatever, like bringing leads in, like it's very real. And like, so even if you can't get ingrained in their business and take it a step further than that, even just having digital me out there, like you do that a bunch of times. Um, and then the other thing Ryan said about like, you like sales calls to like pass the vibe, get people to pass the vibe check. I've noticed even with heavy lifters, like once you guys get this skill down, you can form so many partnerships just whenever you want that you can even decide when you like a heavy lifter more or not. Like I was on
Mhm.
that call I mentioned the other day, and I was trying to make jokes and stuff with the call with the heavy lifter, and like he was just like really serious, or like I don't know, something was up with him, or like honestly, I thought like at the very beginning like he was high or something. Like he just wasn't really like no, literally he was like had a dead face, and I was like, what's going on? And so like I'm taking, I did the partnership, and it'll make me more money. But I had identified pretty quick. I was like, when it comes to like choosing a heavy lifter to like take things further with, like me and him just don't really vibe personality wise. And so you'll get to the point where same thing with heavy lifters. Like if you don't love working with somebody, um, then you can choose, kind of pick and choose who you put more time into.
Yeah, totally. That's like a condition for me. Like they have to be fun. Like it has to
Mhm.
like legitimately be fun to talk with this person and interact with this person. Otherwise, I don't want to work with them. But yeah, yeah, finding heavy lifters, man, it's like once the light bulb goes off, they're everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere. And I like kind of hacked it, but I got my Facebook and Instagram algorithm to where I just scroll and every ad that gets like presented to me, I'm like, that's a heavy lifter message. And I just scroll a little bit more. That's a heavy lifter message. It's like it's really easy. And I have enough now that like once they kind of progress, they will fill my program out and I'm like, oh shoot. Um, I should probably just find like someone's course or something to sell because this is like too easy to not do and take advantage of and just make more money with.
hmm My other thing, it's similar to paid ads, but a lot of people um use like a tool like Nathaniel's or like Ulink and DM like me to get me on a sales call. And almost every time they could be a good heavy lifter for me. And so like they'll DM me and like try and get me on a sales call and I'll be like, oh, like no, but are you interested in collaborations? And then like so like you will literally get heavy lifters reaching out to you and then you can form a partnership with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another fun way to do it. Does anybody else in general, you can unmute or put in the chat, I'll check the chat right now, have any more questions in general?
I'm getting a little stuck when it comes to identifying heavy lifters because I keep thinking of competitors. So I'll think of like what Ryan said, somebody who's running ads, like a company like Think Media, who's really big on YouTube, um, or another company like vidIQ, and they almost like we almost sell the same services. So I would imagine they wouldn't be a good heavy lifter. I guess. Dude, I was so hyped about this last week, and then I got on like 7 sales calls all this week, and I completely forgot about all of this stuff. So I guess I'm still trying to like re figure my brain on how to sell to multiple people at once. Could you give me some advice there about where I should be looking or what is an indicator of this
Yep.
is a good heavy lifter?
So I think for you, what you need to do is you need to reverse brainwash yourself. So you are in YouTube. Like all your stuff is based around YouTube. And so your initial thought is to find heavy lifters on YouTube. I would go away from that because like it's funny you mentioned that because for me, like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like I believe you work with like a lot of different types of individuals, like anybody, any business owner who wants to make money off YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, if as long as they're in B2B, just about.
Right. And so it's funny you say this because I think it's just a mindset shift. Because for me, and I was telling you, you have a really unique offer. For me, I've found, I don't know if I've ever found a heavy lifter myself, um, who had your same service. And so I think it's just because you're looking where, like, at YouTube. And so I would get off YouTube, start looking on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, just other avenues, and you will find tons of people. Like, so for you, it's kind of like the examples I gave before. Like, if you can find like any company who helps any type of business with paid ads, but not YouTube, like that would be going. Any type of business that helps anybody with websites, that would be a good one. Any type of business that helps you with SEO, that would be a good one. And like honestly, I always want you guys to think for yourself on this stuff. But if you just go to ChatGPT, just the free version, like I have the paid version, but it doesn't matter, you can do it on free. Um, and just say like, hey, I'm looking to form strategic partnerships with heavy lifters. A heavy lifter is a company that has my same audience. Can you please help me identify a bunch of these and where to find them? It's amazing. It'll spurt out a whole ton of them right away. And I know Ryan, maybe you have something. I know you did you mention it was a while ago now, but that you got in contact with some heavy lifters via like email as well.
Yeah, and also if it's cool, like with what Cam was saying, when he started talking about like YouTube stuff, my brain instantly went, "Oh, dude, people that do SEO and like Google ads, like those would be great potential people to partner with." Because usually if they do like Google ads and stuff, they don't do YouTube stuff because there's a lot more that goes into YouTube stuff. But they could potentially be really good partners too. But yeah, a lot of the people that I reach out to is just email. Like I don't really care where I reach out to them. But a lot of people, yeah, I just reach out to via email. And it's like a really short back and forth. And then like I like building the deals on the call personally, just because I think it can happen quicker than just going back and forth. I hate having like a billion different messaging conversations happening at the same time. It drives me crazy. So I'd rather just do a quick call. And there have been other times the initial outreach was literally just a call. I know one of them is like chambers of commerce. They have lots of like local service providers in a chamber of commerce. I called the chamber of commerce. I was like, hey man, do you guys ever like collaborate with other businesses to help your people? I do a lot of like lead gen stuff and like client acquisition. Would that be helpful? They're like, yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm like, cool, let's put something together. And so it was like literally like a, I don't know, 9 minute call that just happened on a random like Wednesday or something. And we're putting something together. Right. So yeah, email. I use LinkedIn a lot because LinkedIn's easy. I use Instagram a lot because I doom scroll and it's easy to like see heavy lifters come through my feed. And I'm just like, oh, cool, quick message. Because it's like, they're already not my partner. Like what Scott was saying, what's the worst that can happen? It's like, I don't care if they say no. That's fine.
Yeah, and so Cam, I would go on other platforms. Like just scroll on LinkedIn, like he said, like you'll see a lot of people get crazy engagement on LinkedIn, and like most of them are good heavy lifters. Um, ChatGPT will spout out like websites, and then you can email them. Um, but you can find them anywhere. I think, yeah. But does that help at all?
No, it's super helpful. It's just funny, man. I'm trying to untrain my brain because I want to put together a leads list or a cold email outreach list like so bad. And I'm
Mhm.
sure you can, but like it's just funny, man. I'm trying to retrain my brain to think about this a little bit differently.
Yep. Like another good one for you too would be podcasts. So like there's a ton of people with podcasts out there just how to grow your business. Like with an offer like yours, like people love offers that can result in more business income for them, but also like more passively. And so your offer is so good and so unique that it doesn't there's an acronym that we use that I didn't have time to teach today, but it's called timer. And timer are the 5 risk categories that exist whenever you guys are making any offer to any audience. It's the five things that are on their mind, and it stands for time. So how much time does it take somebody to do? Identity is how they see themselves. Um, like, for example, you guys might like other people's assets, as opposed to sending one-on-one messages, because with other people's assets, you feel like a collaborator, not a spammer. And so that's how you feel about your self-identity. Money, which is just how much money does this cost? Energy, how much energy does this take me to do? And then reputation is how you think or fear other people will see you. So like like for example, my girlfriend loves that I do this strategy because it gives me more time to spend with her. So she loves that about it. And so I can appeal to people's reputation. So for you, Cam, like you have such a good offer, especially I don't know all the details, but like when you can help people like do YouTube videos for them, like reputation, they're happy about it because they can be seen as like someone who's like popular on YouTube. Energy, you're helping them with energy by doing it for them. Um, Identity, again, you're making them feel good about themselves, and time, we'll just take this off your hands. Um,
Hmm.
and so I think that you can get on these, even podcasts or write articles for people, and you can just kill it because you have such a unique offer as long as you keep those five things um, in mind. And timer in general, I have another document that goes over that I can send you guys as a bonus too, but timer is really, really powerful. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Janice, yeah, I see your hand.
Yeah, hi. Are you guys familiar with Acuity scheduling? I mean, it was around pretty strong before they sold their business to Squarespace. And so I'm trying to wrap my head around if that is a feasible collaboration tool. So I'm an Acuity certified expert. And so for 5 years, I just had business coming in. It was really easy. It was just like an offshoot of what my primary, because I was featured as an expert on Acuity scheduling. My thought was offering Acuity setup services to businesses that would offer, like if they're doing a website and the developer is suggesting, you have an online scheduling system set up. So I could be the person that would offer that to them, and then they would get paid a fee for the referral fee. So it's
So
not passive because it would require me doing the work, but yeah.
So that's exactly right. That is one way that you could do it. The only thing I would add is that when you can truly show them that you're helping their people and that you're doing this, like they can now offer this as like a bonus for their people, a lot of the time you don't have to do any rev share. So, and like this is important because it could save you a lot of money. Like I very rarely have to do any rev share because take my LinkedIn stuff, for example, they now to get to promote my LinkedIn trainings to their audience as a bonus for signing up with them. And so they're directly benefited by having my LinkedIn stuff in there because they can promote it and it just helps their client satisfaction. So there's typically no conversation about a rev share between us. Now, some heavy lifters might be monetarily motivated and ask for it. And if they do, then, fine. But if you can show like, hey, do your people have this problem and I can solve it for you? Are you open to collaborating on that? And then you don't like that's the whole conversation. You don't have to give them rev share. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I'm just wondering if it's a viable, um,
I mean, without knowing like the full scope of the details, yeah, it sounds like definitely if that's something that the heavy lifter would need for their people, then you have yourself a potential partnership. That's basically what you have to ask yourself. Like, what is the gap filler I have? What does the heavy lifter help their people with, and what do they not help their people with? Is this a gap I can fill for them? If so, then yes, it's possible.
okay. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see, Alex.
Oh, hi Scott. Yeah, I'm in Blake's group there. That's kind of where I connected with you. But so I deal with a lot of, home contractors, local businesses, home service people, doing, SEO, online presence, Google Ads and things like that. And I've been, it's been slow, doing the one-on-one outreach and Facebook ads and things like that. So I really like this idea. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it a little bit more.
Okay.
Um, I've been joining some groups like I've like some of the software they use, like jobber groups and some of their CRM software that they specialize in. And I'm just trying to figure out, so a heavy lifter might be like the people that run jobber kind of thing, right? And so you're saying reach out to the makers of that software because they have a whole database of contractors that use that software. Um,
That's exactly
it,
right. And so what does that software help them do?
it helps them manage their projects, and like project management and invoicing and things like that, right? And it's geared towards contractors,
Right.
you know.
And so what we know about software is that they all have some type of churn rate, meaning that Jobber inevitably loses some of their users every single month from them not operating the software properly or them not having enough jobs where they need the software anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's where you would come in and you would say, hey, like, I'm not sure what your guys' churn rate is, but like, do you ever have people who leave the software just because they're kind of in the slow months and they don't really have like any jobs coming in? And then they would say, yeah, like that happens from time to time. And then that's where you come in and you say, well, I specialize in getting contractors more jobs, especially during their slow season.
Mm,
Would you be open to collaboration? I could help your people so that they stay on the software more.
mm. Yeah,
And so
that's a good
that
idea.
like that's one example. And then it's like, yeah, of course, like it directly benefits their people and that it directly benefits them.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. Yeah,
And so,
I like that concept because the contractors that are using this software are usually seven figure, like they're usually busier contractors that have real businesses, right? And so that's why I like to target this group. But rather than, I've been reaching out to them more like one on one on because I got myself into their Facebook group,
mhm.
Um, but instead of reaching out to the people in that group one on one, I think trying to reach out to the makers of the software maybe. um, I'm just trying to figure out a good way to kind of approach that because I mean this is a big company, right? and
Mhm.
and just getting my mindset around, Jobber is a big, multi-million-dollar
Well,
company, and
so
I'm
the
just,
other, yeah,
uh, you
no,
know,
it makes sense. So, the other thing too is like, again, the only new answer you can get is yes.
yeah.
So reach out to everybody. But I bet you Jobber has a ton of competitors that you could partner with too. Like when I think about payment processors, like everybody goes to Stripe. But if I type payment processing company in Google, there's just pages and pages of companies. And so let's say you try with Jobber and you don't get it. Like, well, Jobber probably has a bunch of competitors that maybe you don't even know, like you haven't heard of, but all still could make really good heavy lifters. And even if you get one, like Jobber would be responsible for, scaling you to the moon, which is awesome. But even if you got, the equivalent of Jobber, but like that only sends you like 3 to 5 new clients a month instead of like a million, like that's still really good. And then you can form partnerships with a bunch of like smaller people. Does that make
Mm,
sense? And
yeah,
so
yeah.
and so you can go to Google and say, what, or ChatGPT if you use AI and say, what are similar software to Jobber for contractors? Like give me a list of 20. And if it's AI, like, they'll spat out 20 friggin' ones for you.
Mm,
Um, and so I would say that too. Like you
yeah.
maybe like I probably wouldn't get a partnership with Stripe, wouldn't hurt to try, but the guy who I did partner with on this that you would find on page 10 of Google can still be very lucrative.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe I'll try to find some competitors to Jobber and start there.
Hmm. Definitely.
Okay.
And then you just need to figure out like the other thing too, and this is just for business in general, like um so these contractors are already at 7 figures. Uh what is the problem that there's still a problem that they're experiencing? Figure out what that problem is and how you can help them with it. Like that's why I made up the example. Like I'll give you an example. Like so I mentioned Frankie. His first or one of his first 7 figure agencies helped personal injury attorneys, like lawyers, scale. And uh so he would go to them and he found out that on sales calls all the time, they would tell him the same like problems they were dealing with. They were relying on referrals. And so they would say to him, well, we get a ton of referrals one month. And then like there are other months where we don't really get that many referrals. And so I'm never sure whether to like pour like fuel to the fire and like keep scaling or like to cut back just to keep the lights on because I don't want to spend all this money on marketing stuff only for like the next month and I have a lot of referrals. And he
Mhm.
kept hearing this and hearing this. And so when he would make sales material for them, he would just say that. He'd be like, hey, are you a personal injury attorney who gets a lot of referrals one month and thinks you're going to scale to 8 figures? And then the next month you don't get a lot of referrals and you're not sure whether to keep the lights on. And because he said that, like your prospects will see you as like a mind reader because you're like, yes, that's exactly what I'm struggling. Like that's my exact life. And so for you, like these contractors that are already at 7 figures, there's still something, there's still some problem that they experience.
Mhm.
Like we all of our target industries get something that they are fed up with. And when you're not fed up with that thing anymore, you become fed up with something else. Like, for example, a lot of you guys are fed up with having empty calendars. And so you want sales calls, but then all of a sudden you got packed sales calendar and you're like, oh my God, I gotta hop on these sales calls all day. Like this sucks. And you get fed up with sales calls. And then you scale to multi 6 figures and you're like, oh, I have to fulfill for all these clients. Like I'm fed up with this fulfillment now. And so there's always something new that people are fed up with. And so if you can find out what these 7 figure contractors are fed up with and focus on that, like it'll help collaborations, it'll help your sales process in general, it'll help everything go a lot smoother. So I would say that too. It might take some market research or talking to your audience more, but when you can find that fed up point, it's very, very powerful.
Mhm. Okay, great. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? I know we've been on here for 2 hours, but I mean, if you guys have more questions, feel free. And I'll get this might take a while to convert this to a recording, but I'll get it to you guys, if not tonight, then tomorrow, along with the Google Doc.
Yeah, I had well, I know I wouldn't say this is a question. This is just a little bit of translating the heavy lifter system onto just specific predicaments. I know with Alex and pretty much everyone here, we all have our certain industries in which we specialize in. I know for me and you and I, Scott, you know me from LMA.
Mhm.
We've talked a ton beforehand, and I work within cosmetic surgeons and med spas. I advertise for them, bring them new patients, help them scale, and if they want patients within a certain service, let's say Botox, for example, I give them exactly that. So I'm wondering within the heavy lifter system, within translating it into my specific niche, I'm wondering which heavy lifters should I target within
Yep.
cosmetic surgeons and med spas who want an increase within their customer base and they want to scale? And of course, there's tons of people within this space. I'm wondering, how do I navigate and find that specific heavy lifter to scale with?
Sure. So, a good example for this is so if you think back to my example with Rebecca, Rebecca worked in martial arts studios, and so she partnered with the uniform manufacturers because the more students the martial arts studios take on, the more gis they sell. And so one
Mm.
example for you, and heavy lifters like will be endless, but one example for you would be find out when they're doing these whatever type of procedures, what you said, Botox, like when they're doing these Botox procedures, I don't really know how Botox works, but is there any supplies that they're using up? Like for example,
Yep,
Sven,
definitely.
yeah, so you would reach out to those suppliers and partner with them. Because if you can skyrocket the amount of Botox supplies that are being requested of them, their income now goes up. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? So that's one example. So like find out like for their procedures, who makes the materials, who makes all of these things, and like partner with them because they will be directly motivated for their people to need more Botox supplies. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I saw Nathaniel, he posted a good comment. He said the exact same thing. finding those pharmaceutical companies who work within the system of cosmetic surgeons and med spas. So it's a matter of digging deeper into what are all the systems within the industry that you're in and find, okay, my ideal prospect, they're outsourcing this and they're working with these people over there and these people over here, and finding all of those puzzle pieces and finding where you can fit in.
That's exactly right. And typically, everybody kind of has their own puzzle, and you just need to fit in one piece for each heavy lifter. And it might even be the same piece, like for you. So you could reach out to the Botox suppliers, to whatever other procedure, like you do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely, that's exactly right. Cool, cool. All right. Any other last questions here? All right. Let's see. Absolutely happy to help, guys. I hope you got a lot of this. This system really did change my life forever. Don't have to prospect anymore. I know I'm like the LinkedIn outreach guy, but I don't have to anymore. And so you'll get to the point where you don't have to do much of a whole lot either. So I'll end this here. I'll get the recording for you guys. I'll get that Google Doc for you guys so you can kind of review your notes and stuff. And if you ever need help, feel free to reach me. Typically, Facebook's the best. I'll respond on LinkedIn too. And yeah, so great having you guys. I appreciate everybody here. All right. See you guys.